Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and today is Wednesday, so we have yet again another episode of Would You Rather. This is a video series where I'll be going over approximately 5 questions and determining which one is less likely to be invasive. So with the rules and guidelines reviewed, let's start off the episode. Coming in at our first Would You Rather question, I have Would you rather be old, or 67 in this case, or young, 12 in this case as well, for the rest of your life? Now, I'm going to go with being a 12-year-old just because I think being able to be young would be great. I think having the ability to just come home and do whatever you want and never have to do anything that society tells you you have to do would be pretty awesome. Granted, as a 12-year-old, you're going to continually go through the same year of school and education and stuff like that, but it's almost better in most cases considering that you're advancing yourself as a person, but you're also not having to go to work, which is basically the same time sink in itself. Now, of course, you'd have the ability to play games, sports, and just have a good time, and overall, you really wouldn't see too many changes, but I think being a 12-year-old would be pretty awesome, and I think it would take a lot of the load off what an adult has to do when it comes down to the main gist of it. Coming in at our second question, I have Would you rather catch your significant other cheating on you or get caught cheating by your significant other? Now, for the answer of this, I'm going to go with catch her cheating on me, considering that I would never do something like that. I don't ever have any aspirations of cheating on somebody. I don't ever have any thoughts of thinking how awesome or sneaky I would be or like ninja-esque in that feeling. And I just wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I was the prime reason that the relationship would later fail then, considering that if it was me doing the action, I just wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror and go, yep, you're a great person. And that's just something that I would live by for years to come, especially during and after that period. So when it comes down to it, cheating's bad, don't do it. If you're not happy where you're at, just cut it off and, jump right into the next one. But putting somebody up and trying to impose that you still like them or have emotional connections towards them is absolutely wrong, especially if your mind is somewhere else. Coming in at our third question, I have Would you rather wake up as the opposite sex or have your significant other wake up as the opposite sex? Neither can be reversed. And of course, I think I'd rather just wake up as the opposite sex. I mean, if I'm already dating somebody, she's probably pretty attractive by itself, and hopefully I would turn out pretty well. I don't know what I'd look like as a female, but that's definitely something to be on the drawing board, I guess you could say. But when it comes down to it, I think waking up and having a guy on my bed just wouldn't be something I would be too comfortable with, and I think just being able to transform into a female for those instances would be pretty interesting by itself, and I think it would just add a different layer to the relationship, hopefully in a positive manner. Coming in at our fourth question, I have Would you rather argue to preserve your integrity or bite your tongue to maintain peace? Now, it's interesting considering that I already do one of these two options on a day-to-day basis. Now, of course, it's not 100% guaranteed. It can sometimes be a 10-90, a 50-50 split, or whatever the case might be. But for my answer, I'm going to go with argue to preserve my integrity just because I don't always want to be wrong. If I know something's right, I definitely want to fight for the facts. I want to fight to preserve that information, and I think that's something that a lot of us do, probably not knowing it. But I think having to bite your tongue every single time to maintain peace would just really destroy your tongue, probably in a lot of cases, but as well as I don't think you would be able to express your thoughts and your overall feelings without having somebody come up and try to stop you or halt you in the middle of a sentence. And overall, I think at that point, you pretty much lose your ability to have any kind of voice in any conversation. Coming in at our fifth question, I have Would you rather change gender every time you sneezed or not be able to tell the difference between a baby and a muffin? Now, for this specific instance, I'm going to go with the change gender every time I sneeze, considering that you're only going to be sick so many times. You're really only going to sneeze so many times during that period. Now, of course, when you really are sick, it's not going to be a fun experience. You're going to constantly be changing, and you're going to have different body parts show up, as well as some disappear along the way. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting time for you. But with that in mind, I think not being able to tell the difference between a baby and a muffin would be interesting. Now, I don't personally eat muffins. I've never really had an inspiration to try the taste of them or really care too much for them. But that's not to say that I'm like allergic or I don't like them. But I think having that ability to maybe almost bite a baby probably wouldn't be something that many people would be totally for. And I imagine that most parents probably would want to protect their children and beat you up after you try to nom off their face. So definitely, I think being able to go with a safer option that doesn't affect society or affect people in some cases would probably be a little bit of a better option. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Would You Rather. Now, of course, if you guys have any recommendations for future episodes, let me know in the comments below. And until then, guys, I will see you guys then. And this is NMO, and I'm going to be signing out. Peace.